September the 22nd, 1745. 5 weeks have passed since Prince Charles Edward Stuart raised his standard at Glenfinnan. It would seem that nothing can now stop his triumphant sweep through Scotland. Crieff, Perth, Stirling, Falkirk, Linlithgow, Prestonpans, and now Edinburgh. The capital, however, may prove more difficult. Government troops under the aged hypochondriac General Guest occupy the castle, and the city is commanded by their guns.
It's merely the history of Edinburgh repeating itself, Captain Windham. In nearly every conflict here, one side has held the town and the other has held the castle. Now, we are too few in number to sally out and attack them, and they are too ill-equipped to take the castle, if the castle can be taken. Now, they won't try and starve us out, for if they cut off our supplies, they know we will bombard the town. So we stay peacefully within a few hundred yards of each other, as incapable of fighting each other as a whale and an elephant.
Everything about this campaign seems to end in farce.
If that is another criticism of the tactics of General Cope, Captain, I must warn you that it is insubordination.
I would not presume to criticize your fellow general, sir. I would, however, question if we will be able to win if he turns tail and flees every time he catches sight of the enemy.
Did not your own first action against the Highlanders end in a somewhat similar fashion?
In our case, sir, the order to retreat was not given by the officers in command. The men withdrew at remarkable speed without waiting to consult us.
Thank you.
Besides, we were deceived into thinking their numbers were greater than they actually were. General Cope, I think, knew the Highlanders were badly armed and unable to win a pitched battle.
So you think that if he'd engaged them, he would have won?
I am certain, sir, that when the Highlanders meet a resolute and well-disciplined force, they will not only be defeated, they will be destroyed.
Then sooner or later they will be destroyed, Captain. But meanwhile, they have taken Scotland.
For my part, anybody who wants this country can have it. It's still a farce.
Well, the comedy will reach its peak tonight. I'm informed that Prince Charles has postponed his advance and is giving a ball in Holyrood House.
Well, why not? Many of them will be dancing on the gibbet when this is over.
Charles Edward Louis Philippe Stuart, son of James, 3rd of England, 8th of Scotland. His mother, Clementina Sobieska, born in Rome for the purpose of winning back the throne of England, lost in 1688 by the expulsion of his grandfather, James II. Before the present campaign, he has never set foot on English-speaking soil.
I think you should fan yourself.
I'm not hot.
It seems to be the custom for the ladies who are not dancing to fan themselves even more than those who are.
You look quite the chevalier tonight, Ewan. Alison, does he not remind you of the society in Paris?
I'm afraid that Alison has hardly noticed me tonight. Like the rest of the ladies, she can look only at the prince.
That would be a pity. You have quite the bel air in that costume.
Knowing how much you favor all things French, sir, I must take that as a great compliment.
Is it permitted by custom in Scotland for a man to dance with his sister?
With so many handsome ladies, why would you wish to dance with me, Hector?
Because it will raise their interest in me if I'm seen to dance with the most beautiful of them all. Is it permitted?
Only if the brother can knock down the man she's contracted to marry first.
The prince is gone.
I hadn't noticed.
And you're one of his chosen aides-de-camp.
I was too busy looking at you.
Where could he be?
My dear, the prince does not choose to dance, and he's under no obligation to watch us dancing for any longer than it pleases him. Archie, come and protect me from Miss Grant. She thinks I am unworthy to be the prince's aide-de-camp because I did not notice him leave, and she will not be at peace till I've satisfied her curiosity by telling her the reason for his absence.
Well, I will be glad to protect you from Miss Grant by removing her from your custody.
Will you dance with me, Miss Grant?
Captain Cameron. Captain Cameron, the Prince desires you to take up a position outside his antechamber 15 minutes from now and see that no one approaches his bedroom. His Royal Highness will be indisposed. This has obliged him to withdraw from the ball. But he particularly wishes that no attention should be called to his absence and that no one should visit him. Do you understand?
No, sir, I do not. A short while ago, the Prince seemed in the best of health and spirits. This is very sudden, Mr. Strickland.
It seems that you consider yourself a better judge of his state of health than the Prince himself, sir.
No, but this is very strange.
Those are his orders.
As his personal aide, I take my orders from the Prince himself, and not from any intermediary.
So, it seems that I am to tell the Prince that you refuse to obey his commands and that he must find another to perform them?
Scarcely so, since I have not refused to perform.
Not yet. You are to go there in a quarter of an hour.
I see. The Prince intends to become ill in a quarter of an hour. Perhaps I'd better take Dr. Archie Cameron to him.
God's sake, Captain Cameron, lower your voice. I think the Prince might have made a better choice than you for this task. It requires discretion.
If you do not take your hand from my arm, I may become even less discreet, Mr. Strickland.
Avanti. I shall be ready in a moment, O'Sullivan.
Your Royal Highness.
My orders were that you should post yourself outside my door in 15 minutes, Captain Cameron. There seems to have been some mistake on the part of Mr. Strickland or yourself.
If there has been a mistake, it has been mine. The order puzzled me.
Mon Dieu, we were plain enough.
Not entirely, Your Royal Highness, so I venture to ask to hear it from your own lips.
Mr. Strickland brought you my orders. Is he not to be trusted?
Most of the Roman emperors were assassinated by men close to them.
I do not anticipate that Mr. Strickland will assassinate me, nor am I in a mood to be lectured to in history. You will have the goodness to station yourself outside my door and let no one but Mr. Strickland and Colonel O'Sullivan pass. I am indisposed.
And the 15 minutes that Mr. Strickland spoke of?
You may take your place at once.
Your Royal Highness is going out. At this hour.
And if I am, what possible business is that of yours?
As your aide-de-camp, it is my great privilege to watch over the person of your Royal Highness. If you're going out into the streets of Edinburgh at night without a guard...
Captain Cameron! When I appointed you, I did so to honor your chief, Lochiel. I had no intention of hampering myself with a spy. Lochiel may have been the first to enter Edinburgh, but he was not the first to declare for me. I think you Camerons would be as well to remember that. Wait.
Will your Royal Highness kindly give your orders to some other man more worthy of the honor? I'll not endure to hear my chief, my clan, and myself insulted. Not even by my future king.
Captain Cameron! You cannot think that I have any feelings but those of gratitude towards Lochiel, your clan, or yourself. And to prove my trust in you is complete, I will tell you the errand that takes me out tonight. Wait! And if you insist on your right to watch over my royal person, you shall accompany me.
Your Royal Highness is kind, but I cannot claim that right any longer. May I withdraw?
You Highlanders are unforgiving. You feel the responsibility of your duties towards me. Think of the weight of responsibility I bear. And if your sense of duty has made you indiscreet, think how much more mine has made me. We are both young men, Adroy. We should forgive the rashness of youth in each other.
Yes, my prince. Give me what orders you will, and I shall obey them.
Am I forgiven them? Open the door, mon ami.
I thought your Royal Highness was admitting no one but Mr. Strickland and myself.
I have changed my mind, O'Sullivan. I think it best we take an aide-de-camp with us. And who better than Captain Cameron?
As your Royal Highness pleases.
I think you had better know where we are going tonight, Edroy. We are going to visit a lady. No. An old lady. An old Jacobite lady who has a house at the corner of the West Bow and the Grass Market.
But that is so near the castle. What if the garrison there should send out a patrol?
But your Camerons are patrolling from the West Bow. Do you think so little of them?
Will they be warned that the prince is coming?
We could hardly make the visit in secret if they were. And we must preserve secrecy for the sake of the lady. And as to the reason for our visit, wars cannot be won by sword and courage alone. Money is also necessary. This lady is a relative of Mr. Barry of Broughton, and she has written offering us help.
Then, for God's sake, let Mr. Murray go to her.
I flatter myself that a visit from me in person will greatly increase her loyalty and generosity. And besides, and I wish that all the adventures should fall to others. I should have stayed in France and only come to Scotland when victory was achieved. You need a cloak to hide your finery, Captain Cameron.
Do I understand that Captain Cameron is coming with us?
He has my leave to do so. And you have my leave to disapprove. There's a cloak there, Edroy.
Who will guard your Royal Highness's door?
No one, unless you cover the post, Strickland. Then, come all of you. We shall leave by Lord Darley's private stair. Will Lady Easterhall see her kinsman, Mr. Murray of Broughton, and his friends?
Mr. Murray, is it? And Mr. Murray's friends, eh? Is yon another of you?
Come, fellow, conduct us to my Lady Easterhall if she is not abed.
Oh, she's no abed, sir. She's playing a hand of cards with Miss Isabel. Come, Ben, then. You're expected.
What is it, Saunders?
It's your ladyship's kinsman, Mr. Murray, and a wheen friends of his to visit you.
You visit Uncle late, John, but you're none the less welcome for that. Ah, you're a finer figure of a man than here I thought you'd make.
Madame, I beg your pardon for using your nephew's name as a passport.
Service? What's gotten into the house?
Great aunt, it's the prince himself.
Bestir yourself, Saunders. Licht the rest of the cornels and bring some refreshment for the gentlemen. Dinna donner, man.
За ваше здоровье. И за ваше.
We'll argue what we can, Your Royal Highness. You'll see your visit has no been for nothing.
How could it be when it has given me your acquaintance, Lady Easterhall, and that of Miss Cochrane? And let me drink the best claret I have tasted since I came to Scotland. Let us drink to the absent Mr. Murray, whose indisposition has afforded me these pleasures. What plague ails you, Captain Cameron? You're standing guard like a grenadier. Come, sit down, man. Do not insult our hostess's excellent wine.
With your Highness' leave, and yours, Lady Easterhall, I'd rather keep watch. The close here runs up to the castle, does it not, ma'am?
Uh-huh.
Is there any window in the house that would give me a better view of it?
You're very nervous, Captain Cameron. I'm sure the nearness of the castle troubles neither ourselves nor the ladies.
The young man shall keep watch if he's a mighty. Isabel, gae show the captain the best window for seeing out. Though if they should send a picket here, you could all be out of the house afore they could win their way in. It hasn't been used for a while, but there's a secret stair leads for this very room, down under the house to the west bow.
Where's the entrance?
Ahead John Scooter, at the side of the chimney.
Good. So now you need not deprive us of your company, Odroy, nor that of Miss Cochrane.
Even with the secret stair, Your Highness, I think it would be wiser to have as early a warning of their coming as possible.
You can see almost up to the castle from here. Too late, they're here already.
Zapasem broń. Now, czerwony pas, czerwony.
Saunders, go to your room. On no account open the great door to anyone. The soldiers are coming.
Here?
Here.
It seems your nervousness was justified, Odroy. How does the panel open, madame?
Oh.
Your pardon, madam.
The spring seems to be rusted. It must be many years since a lover entered this house by that doorway.
It's the soldiers!
It winna open. You tried, Isabel. You played with it as a bairn. Oh, Isabel, can you no open it?
God.
Quick! Strickland, a candle. Go first to light the way. Now, Your Royal Highness.
Madame.
When we have gone, close the panel, then go quickly. Be in your bedrooms when they come. I beg you not to be found here. It might lead them to look for a way out, and the prince must get well clear of the house.
Seems you were right after all, Cameron. But remember, caution is but one of the arts of war. What's that? The panel. It's opening.
The catch must have rusted as well as the spring.
Where are you going?
To close it. You go on. One man will be enough for this.
Is one of them?
What are you doing here?
No, sir, it's for us to ask out of you. Lord, it's him. Quick, tell the officer. Despite where you are, Your Highness, If you don't stir, no harm will come to you. And here, sir?
That is not the prince.
By what right do you break into a private house? The Lord Provost shall know of this in the morning. No doubt you will demand an explanation of General Guest.
Troy. Now, this man is aide-de-camp to Prince Charles. We can be certain the prince is in this house. Sergeant, direct the search.
Is that your pretext for breaking into an old lady's house at this hour of the night? Can you really believe that the prince is here? Surely you've heard the prince is holding a ball at Holyrood tonight. If you are so eager to find him, try forcing your way in there.
Mr. Cameron, I'm not to be played with like this. The pretender's son was seen to enter this house with 3 men.
I'm sorry to disappoint you again, but as you have seen, your men mistook me for the prince. No doubt your informant did so too. As for my 3 friends, they have gone. Lady Easterhall and her niece have retired, and I was about to sit down and write a letter to my aunt when your illegal entry disturbed me.
Our informant recognized the prince by the order of the thistle he was wearing. You are not wearing one, Mr. Cameron, nor are you entitled to. And since I do not believe you would lie needlessly, I am more certain than ever that the prince is in this house.
Then perhaps you will find him, Captain Windham. At least if you do, you will recognize him. For you had many opportunities to become familiar with his appearance before you sneaked out of my custody.
Mr. Cameron, I'm an officer in the King's army doing his duty to the King. Another time I may treat your insults in the fashion they deserve. Meanwhile, your sword, please.
I cannot offer you my sword unconditionally. But if you think it worth the taking, you may attempt it.
Can't find him anywhere, sir.
I bet you didn't listen to my words. It would have saved you time. Now, will you leave and let the ladies rest peacefully?
You can speed our departures by surrendering your sword and your person without further resistance.
I seem to remember that when we first met, Captain, you were not willing to give up your sword without resistance.
You choose to remind me I am under an obligation to you. That makes my task more difficult, but cannot prevent me from carrying it out. Your sword, please.
I do not regard you as under any obligation to me, nor do I see why I should make your task easier. If you do not wish to take me, you may leave. I will not hinder you. The prince is not here. You have my word on that. And your general will find me a poor substitute.
Ardroy, I wish I could let you go. For your own sake, let me take you unharmed, for I must take you. You are the prince's aide. You're a chieftain. Our positions are reversed. Let me show you the same courtesy you once showed me.
Our positions are reversed, Captain. Those are my men coming from the West Bow. If I might advise you, I'd say get back to the castle while there is still time.
Yes, thank you, we will. Sergeant, secure the prisoner.
Shall we use the blade or the butt, sir?
Neither. I do not want him harmed.
We'll make him put up his sword, or it's us that'll be injured.
You'd better decide soon.
Let's use the blade, sir.
No.
And I'll not stay here to be killed.
Sergeant, come back here.
You seem to be unfortunate in your men, Captain. I fear I shall have to ask you for your sword again.
Oh, my God. I might have killed you. I lost my temper. But as God is my witness, I thought you were on guard.
I did not think you were attempting to murder me.
Perhaps I was. There's my sword. It's yours.
Lachlan! Am I Kerskulior? Alles ruang na jail, Jerash Faranganikat. Put on your sword. This comes out at the West Bow. You will have to trust to luck and your own resources from then on, but it is a dark night. And this will cover your uniform.
So, the prince was here all the time. I was that close to him, and you stayed to delay us. Ardroy, you are all playing at war as if it were a game. But I warn you, there will be a bloody curtain to this farce.
immensely good. Ah, they're evacuating the city. Edinburgh will be free of these Highland pests by morning, and of their prince as well. For good, I imagine.
But his force is many times greater now than it was when he started the campaign.
Aye. Success has drawn people to him who would have stayed at home had he failed. But he's marching for England now.
Will not the English be drawn to him?
They'll join him on the day that he takes London. And that day will never come.